Okay, hopefully you can see something with the Golden Gate Bridge on it. My name is Zak MacRunnels. I'm the CEO of Reconstruct, and I was so honored when Steve and Harry reached out to me to be on the talk today, because our corporate mission is to make the built world a better place to work, live, and play. And in a nutshell, I think for all the project managers out there, what that really means is really to track what's there versus what should be there at any point in time. And we know, a lot of us know how difficult that is, both at the micro level and as well at the macro level, right? And whether you're across the world trying to track a project, or whether you're trying to get some sub-inch accuracy to make sure that the cable tray fits through the conduits. And so anyway, without getting too much detail too fast, just honored to be here today to talk to you about how Reconstruct is creating that bridge, the CQM bridge between 2D, 3D, as well as 4D. I'll give you a little glimpse in little snippets of some of the customers that we work with around the world in all three of those types of ways. In a nutshell, how do we all do this? How does Reconstruct bring all this together? First of all, what we do is bring together a heterogeneous set of reality capture. You'll see some indoor, you'll see some outdoor, you'll see some cameras, you'll see some iOS, you'll see some drones, you'll see some laser scanning, all sorts of different types of reality capture brought together in one place to make it measurable and to be able to do quality control if you're fortunate enough to have drawing or BIM that you can compare it to. And I'll give you a couple examples without it and a couple examples with it in both 2D as well as 3D. And lastly, I'll just barely touch on the 4D aspect of how integrating the schedule brings it all together to repeat myself, to track what's there versus what should be there at any point in time. So that's how it all comes together. This is sometimes the vernacular that our customers say. It's kind of the 4 M's. What does Reconstruct do? It really helps us discover those aha moments, both positive as well as some improvements that need to be made. Kind of the 4 M's: map it, measure it, mark it, and monitor it. Mapping it is really creating a digital map of the project site using reality capture, which a lot of what we're talking about today. Then make it measurable, so that you don't have to get on scaffolding and take out your tape measure. You can do it right from your cell phone, or right from your iPad, or right from your laptop, to be able to get that measurability with the virtual Reconstruct tape measure or volumetric analysis. And mark it. This is where collaboration comes in. Mark it up, so you're either creating your to-do lists, or maybe you're creating your punch lists, or maybe you're creating RFIs, heaven forbid. But so you mark it up so you can collaborate on it, on the issues that you care about, and as a team. And then monitor it. How's this tracking over time? Whether it's in the past, or I'll show you a little simulation into the future as well, where we tie together BIM and reality capture. So I'm going to start off pretty simple. I'm going to start off 2D. And the aha moment here is, hey, I got no floor plans, but I've taken over this particular renovation of this office, and I have to convert it into a healthcare facility. And so what we did at Reconstruct with a 360 camera, what we did was we backed into it and created a 2D floor plan. It sounds chicken and egg, but it was important for this particular customer. And so just a quick snippet, and you can see how this all got mapped together. So you'll see the 360 coverage of the site come in. That's the colored site. And now you'll see the track with which our customer went through. You see little blue dots of the route where they tracked that. And then you'll see the rendering of the imagery and the mapping that just took place. And then just a quick snippet of measurability, just a tiny little snippet here. So it's kind of creating that 2D, 3D bridge back and forth for what's important. Because in this case, they want to see, can I convert this into a healthcare facility? Right now, it's just an office. So a little bit of measurability. We're just checking to see, what this little hallway is doing. So a real simple example to get started. Now, make it a little bit more interesting. This is a facility up in Canada where we wanted to track a 2D overlay design on top of reality and see what was there. And so with our partner, Bluebeam is a partner of ours. So you can see the 2D, the floor plans of, in this particular case, this is the raised platform of this particular, it's a convenience store. And see the convenience store, the 2D designs of what's supposed to be here. And it's pretty interesting, aha moment of, here, this is supposed to be the coffee bar. What turns out, they've got a very big coffee bar. This is the coffee bar, and there's some other things that are just missing. So it's like catching these things. So it's remote CQM is what's going on here. So that's another example, kind of 2D meets 3D, you know, coffee versus post office in this case. And this is another interesting example. Now it's measurability in 3D. And the title on it is, hey, can I put the skid in here from the truck? And this is a project that we worked with Steve DeVito's team at Procon. It's a project, it's a federal project in Denver, a federal facility where they store a lot of, you know, really important things for decades and decades. And so what you see is a similar map. And as you see another more 360 capture that Steve's team did at this GSA facility. And then walking around, you see the walk around of the route. And now you'll see the value add when you get outside in the, they'll call it the garage-like area where they have to store these skids. And it's like, I want to see if the skid can fit. Is my skid too tall? Is it okay? Does it fit, you know, left, right, or not? And you'll see that come to life here in just one moment. So here that is. So what we do is we provide the measurability for this. Let's see, okay, is it wide enough? Is it going to be fine? And then let's see, is it going to be tall enough for me to fit that in there? So you get that kind of measurability now. I'm able to put it in this particular site. Now maybe I want to do, in a sec, maybe I want to do the square footage. Do I want to see if, you know, when I lay down this bed, am I going to have enough space to, you know, to put it in here? So let's do a little square footage measurement to see if it's going to, if the skid is going to fit in here. And so we get that. And by the way, this was all with a 360 camera, by the way. And it was not done with laser scanning. So it's very, very expeditious. And so I'm gonna move on here a little bit. There's some other interesting 3D measurements that Steve and his team, and you know, perhaps he's going to talk about a little bit later today. I'm going to go to two more examples that are interesting. Now this is a 3D QA use case where it's entitled, "Hey, where's my HVAC system?" And so it's a 30. I'll take you through it in 30 seconds. It's simulating a project manager looking at a particular floor where the HVAC system went in. And so from afar, this is a European project. And so I might want to just check in on it. Might just check some of the MEP on some of the conduits. And let's see what's going on here. So let me just look around. Okay, they got some electrical coming out of the ceiling. That's interesting. But the interesting part is going to be, now I'm going to do a little QA to see if they said they put the HVAC vent fan system on the 12th floor in this particular area. And so now I'm going to give you the cheat sheet version of this and show you, you know, the reality versus the BIM. So this is a 3D. So this is 3D reality as well as 3D BIM. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit in the spirit of time. So look up here in this area. This is reality. And now I'm going to overlay BIM on what should be there, right? Remember I said we track what's there versus what should be there at any point in time, right? So now look and see. Now I'm going to bring in the BIM. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to toggle the design. And you'll see what should be in this particular area right up here, okay? So again, I cheated and I showed you. This is what was supposed to be there at that moment in time. You see the fan and the duct system there. So again, that's the tracking design, what should be there versus what's actually there. So again, at this point in time, I would collaborate inside Reconstruct. Maybe this is a punch list item. Maybe it's a to-do item. Maybe it's an RFI. I don't know, but I'm the project manager, or I'm the person on the project, and I can decide at that point. Now I'm going to keep going, and this is my last example. And this is the full 2D meets 3D meets 4D, right? So we're going to start off in indoors, and in a nutshell, it's really kind of about this drain pipe, and the drain pipe feels a little bit too straight to me, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm worried about a million different things. But anyway, so I'm gonna just let this run. I'm gonna check on this facility. And shout out to one of our partners, Oracle, on this project. And so this is a project where I'm a project manager. I'm just checking in to see how things are going. Maybe I'll do some simple measurements. Maybe I'll check some outdoor. Maybe I'll check how the drone footage got integrated. But what I'm really doing is I want to see over time what was going on with this drain pipe, because something. Again, I'm not sure if this is right, and then we know what the story was on this particular this drain pipe right here. Hopefully, you guys can see my cursor. It looks pretty innocuous, but you know, I'm feeling like there's something off there. So I'm doing some measurements on the concrete prefab walls. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to maybe go outside and check out the site layout, see what's going on the outside here in just a moment. And again, you'll see components of 2D, 3D, as well as you're going to see a 4D component in just a moment here. And so I'm checking out outside. I'm going to go and see what's going on here with the trailer, and then I'll pop back over. And again, it's this drain pipe is on my mind. And what I want to do with the drain pipe is I'm going to come back and I'm going to check. Again, I'm tracking what's there versus what should be there. So this is where it kind of gets interesting. And so this is at this moment in time, right? So now you'll see some green imagery coming in. That's my BIM design. And so you'll notice I said, I think that drain pipe, something's weird about it. It feels too straight to me, right? When you have the fall of the water. So I'm going to pause it. And again, I'm going to cheat in the spirit of time and show you here. So you see, okay, there's the design. Oh, let's go back just a smidge here for you. There's the design, right? So I thought I remembered some elbows in here. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but there's a lot of elbows here, and this thing is really straight. I'm like, okay. So again, I have the choice now. Does this go on my to-do list? Maybe it's my punch list. Maybe it's an RFI. You know, I know the level of importance on this. And so I'll fast forward now and come back to this in just a moment. Now I want to go outside and I want to see what's going on the outside. There's a lot of things going on. This is where we brought in drone footage as well as the interior footage. So this is the whole project layout. And so there's a previous building which was important because there's a lot of underground utilities that we want to capture and make sure we're doing a little bit of digging in different areas, and we want to make sure you want to stay clear of some of the underground utilities there. And so so we'll see that, and then again, I'm just going to come back to the drain pipe in a 4D world in just a sec. So in these dirt areas right here, maybe I want to do a little bit of digging, and I'm like, yikes, let's make sure that we're safe, right? Let's make sure that we're not going to have any utility problems. Again, previously mapped that out. You've got your electrical, you've got your water, and then boom. Okay, so we're going to be super careful here. All right. Again, I'm like a project manager. I got to worry about everything, right? So I'm thinking about this now. Now I'm back to thinking about the whole layout. And this is where we bring in the 2D site layout of the entire project, thanks to our friends at Bluebeam, overlaying this now. You'll see just a second. There it is. So you see the 2D again. And so this is where bouncing back 2D, 3D, and now I'm going to show you a little bit of 4D because we're going to go back in time as well. And so you'll see that with the drain pipe again. So coming inside here. So I want to go back a few months. So notice right here, we're going to go back, boom, 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 boom. We're going to go to April and say, how did this drain pipe get to where it is? So it's a bit of a time machine for construction, right? And so we'll look at this and we'll go, okay, where did this all start? And we'll go, oh, that's where it all started. Okay, good. All right. So I know where it all started, so we can trace back, how this all happened. So it's a little bit of the history, so we don't have to like rip open any roofing. So the last thing I'm going to show before I turn it back over to you, Steve and Harry, is a little bit of the 4D element and bringing the schedule to life in 3D. And so what you'll see is a couple colored elements here in the construction design. So you see the green nomenclature. That means that things are on time at this moment in time. You'll see some other colors, which mean perhaps they're delayed, perhaps they're off by a little bit. And so anyway, that was a quick moment in time. 2D meets 3D meets 4D. Why does all this matter, right? I'm going to move ahead. And why does it all matter? There's a lot less travel, most of the execs think about less carbon footprint in that regard. There's a lot less rework where you're able to go in, you don't have to rip open and be destructive with walls and things like that. And then in on-time completions, it's amazing when you're all in kind of that one digital truth. And that's really a wrap. So Steve and Harry, I'll turn it back over to you.
One quick thing to add to your presentation, Zach, is that when you look at what Reconstruct is showing you, these point clouds and these 360 photos, it's important to understand that the expeditious nature of how quickly you can come up with that. So, for example, Zach showed our project, the Federal Center in Denver for GSA. That was a 680,000 square foot building. We were able to capture that in 3 days and develop a point cloud from it. And that's from when we started scanning to when the point cloud is available. And comparing that with traditional laser scanning, which may be overkill, right? And for this project, it was. They did not need, millimeter accuracy. It would have taken, probably the total time to come up with a point cloud from start to finish, 4 to 6 months, right? So, I mean, it's important to understand you already have inspectors on a job site. If you attach a $400 360 camera to their hard hat, what you're doing is you're being able to see exactly what's on site. So I just wanted to add that.